y'all, Rebecca here. I am the CPA for rental stores, party and event rental, and tool rental. And today I want to show you an example of where a client earned over $500,000 in revenue and made less money. So we want to talk about some of the common pitfalls and some things that happened in this short video. So as you can see here, we're looking at two columns compared year to year. This is a profit and loss. So we're looking at 2018 with 2017. Example might be a little bit old, but I think it's a very poignant example. So this particular business, they worked really hard, had $575,000 more in revenue. They managed to only increase their cost of goods sold, so direct expenses, by about $100,000. So top line, they're looking at about $471,000 more in revenue. So what happened? Because at the end of the day, they end up having a $23,000 loss compared with about break even, about a net zero in net income. Okay, so let's take a look. One of the big things is the amount of assets that they bought. So in items that are being depreciated, so some of the larger items, they spent about $42,000. They had purchased $524,000 in items, and then smaller things. So they have special items under $2,500. They spent $187,000 on items, so 80. So in assets that they bought year over year compared with year one and year two, they bought about $122,000 more in assets. Okay, now the reason why I bring that up is buying more items to rent is not always the best strategy. Where are they going to put that? They ended up with about $62,000 more in rent expense. And that could be because they bought so much more in assets, they had to take on more space to be able to house the assets. What I would challenge this business owner is, instead of spending a bunch of money buying a bunch of assets, let's go through those assets, make sure that we're focusing on items that rent frequently, often, and for a good price. And let's see if there's any things that are in our inventory, any rental items that aren't turning over. Maybe we want to get rid of some of those instead of continuing to buy more assets and paying more expenses. Now, one other thing, we did end up with higher liability insurance. So that could be for a number of reasons. We have more staff, we've got more rentals going out, but it's just, I don't want this to happen to any business owner where you work so hard and at the end of the day, you end up making less money. You want to keep everything that you can. So let's be smart about the assets that we're making, the decisions that we're doing, and making sure that the assets that you have are working the best for you and that you're not hustling really hard to make $500,000 more in revenue to end up with about $127,000 less in earnings to you. So one little complicated feature here too, the officer compensation had decreased. So in this year that he made an extra $500,000, his earnings went from $333 to $226. So because of some of these decisions, they made less money as the owner as well. So let's make sure that you avoid these pitfalls. If you're experiencing something like this or want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you, let me know. Click the link to chat with us, work with us, reach out to us, and let's make sure that this doesn't happen to you. Rebecca Warnick, CPA. Have a great day.